Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Erin Andrea Craske. She's a transformation coach, advisor, author, and educator. Welcome to the show, Erin.
Well, thank you, KJ, for having me here. I really appreciate that. It was a
You
long
are welcome.
invitation.
You are welcome to the show. Erin, you are welcome to India in this online form. And
You
I'm
know
sure
what?
now,
It's like dream coming true. Finally, I made it. Well, it took me a good few years. Yeah, I'm finally here.
wonderful, wonderful. So, a lot of people, not just in India, but a lot of people across the world will benefit from what we are going to discuss right now. We'll be talking about thriving as a conscious business rebel. So, help us understand who is a conscious business rebel. In that backdrop, also help us understand. You see, you have worked in over 40 industry leading brands spanning diverse sectors. Have you met any conscious, business rebels there? Any of these brands? Just think over it, or is it only for the small businesses to think of this all this consciousness? Help us understand with the definition and also the question that I asked you.
Oh dear, there are so many questions in one. I just wish I could remember everything that you asked. So let's start with the first one. In terms of who are conscious business rebel in my world. In all fairness, there's nothing sinister about it. It doesn't mean that you go on barricades and try to dismantle the world around you. Nothing to do with this. So for me, those people are business owners or brand owners who want to live by their own rules and they want to go their own way. So as it happens in a society, we have quite a lot of rules, that we believe are given. And we try to follow them without even asking ourselves, is it true? You know, do I need to go this direction? Is it for me? Do I feel comfortable accepting everything that I'm told? We just blindly follow what we're told. But there are people who want to go their own direction. And often these people are not driven by status or by wealth or by prestige, whatever we believe success is. That is another actually a wrong belief because success is different for everybody. We just need to stop for a second and think what it means to me personally. And very often it's not going to be what we're told it is, right? So for me, rebels are people that by definition decide to go their own path, whatever they feel comfortable with. And fun enough, often it happens that these people appear to be more caring about people, pets, planet, right? So this is what I call consciousness in this particular way, when we talk about business. So it's not only about doing business by your own rules, but it's also contributing. It's about doing good. So these are people that I'm referring to. With regards to your second question and the corporate environment, fun enough, no, you won't meet many people like that. So I'm one of those, I used to be one of those simply because I was born this way, right? It's quite interesting. I heard there was a research run in terms of what kind of people work in a corporate environment. And apparently you're going to have three different types of people. So the first one, they will fit in, they will blend in. The second group, they will actually do their best, although they don't accept what's going on. And those people will usually get to burnout stage, right? They just calmly would be doing what they're told to do. And then you have the third group of people, rebels. So they just disagree and they quit. So, I don't quit, but I was definitely in the third group. So I guess to answer your question, really depends. If you have this rebellious part in your personality profile, then there is a big chance that you won't fit in. You're going to be a corporate misfit, as I used to be. But if you don't, it's absolutely fine. So you just be, at home, right at home.
Right. So where do these, conscious business rebels stay? Where are they? I don't see many. I see some of them, but that those will be in my personal life, one or two people that I can know, but those will not be big enough. So where are these conscious business rebels hiding? Are there only amongst the corporate environment? And secondly, how you talked about that, that these people want to live the way they want to, do things the way they want to, and there is a way they can also thrive. So tell
Yeah.
us about this. Where are these people? How can one be one among those people rather than, getting stifled in any corporate environment and live the life they want and make this planet actually a happy place? Otherwise, every day we get to see so much of advertisement, so much of talk, thought leadership about how everybody, even companies and brands, want to save the world and take all our money.
Yeah. So I don't believe they're hiding. I do believe personally, I do believe in a good people and the good world, that has all the potential to get even better. I believe it's a matter of having courage. You need to be brave enough to say, you know what, I don't accept the status quo and I'm going to rebel against it. And it's not an easy change, or it's not an easy thought, because it's definitely going to put you in the group of somebody other people would call outcast, even though they're a fantastic person. And even though what they say is not true, you are not an outcast. You are a change maker. Because if we didn't have any rebels in the world, we will never have any changes. Because any change is courage. Any change is making something different. So, these people are absolutely necessary for the world to evolve, but it requires courage, to say, okay, I'm living in my own world, I'm living by my own rules, and I'm building my success on my own terms. So, and they exist. Some people leave corporate world because they don't any longer feel being part of it. It's like I was listening to one absolutely amazing coach. He was board of directors of the massive, massive, massive company, and after the restructure, he decided that he's going to be living in small island and he's going to be a wellness and health coach. He just sold everything. I'm not talking about these drastic measures, right? Because everybody is different. But still, you have people that decide to develop their own business, you have people, especially if we talk about millennials, like younger generation, they are more predisposed to this doing good thing to the world. It's just because you have a societal evolution, and with every new layer, with every new age, you're going to have a different mentality that is kind of rules the generation. So millennials are easier to start this, doing good business. And again, yeah, so people come to a certain age, they realize that the life I was living wasn't worth it. I want something else. I want something different. I want fulfillment. I want self-actualization. I want enjoy what I do. I want to have satisfaction from what I do. And these people, they start kind of, I think they emerge, and they're more and more like that in the world.
Right,
At
right.
least I'd like to hope so, right? Again, being optimistic.
Absolutely. So, if these people are rebels, why do they continue to be in those environments for a long, long time? Like you said, you were also like that, but you were there in for 20 years plus. Global head of consumer brands, worked for 40 brands, diverse sectors. Why? And once you are in a good position, you can have the financial wherewithal to take and live a life from the heart. It's not about you. You are just I'm just talking in from that sense. A lot of people uh, then start wagering things, that which is the best way to go, and the rebel is lost in between. Why don't they decide about? Because rebels actually think about what way they want to live, and do not wait for a time when it will become a sort of a selling sort of a thing, that okay, I am now ready to talk about these things. Like a lot of people talk, After retirement, they will talk about all the great things, But a rebel will certainly come out whenever it is the right time for them.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. It's
In
such
several
a
cases,
great
I
point.
find it hypocrisy, basically.
There's no hypocrisy, well, at least, you know what? Let me talk from my perspective, because I can't say from everybody. Every person is unique, and I wouldn't generalize. In my case, the way I was brought up, I knew from the very beginning that the only way to succeed in this world is to have a good career. And I'm sure that people in India will resonate with it, right? You have good education, you have good career, you achieve certain status in the society, you achieve certain wealth that comes from progressing with your employment, so that's how I was conditioned. And this is the path I took. And yes, I didn't fit in because I wasn't happy with the decision that management was making. They were not benefiting for the business, but there's nothing you can say against it in my particular case. And, when I was progressing, although something wasn't right, and I had this realization, it's about me. I just don't accept the authority. That's it, right? So I'm not the right material to work for such people, but I didn't know anything else. Right. So it's all I knew. You have to be an employee because you're going to be safe. You're going to have your stable income. You're going to progress. Everybody's going to respect you. So this is why I couldn't give up, because I didn't know anything else. And I didn't know that I could do business by myself. So I guess that was my problem. And in my particular case, it was getting more and more difficult, challenging, because if you believe in spirituality, as it often happens, like you're giving a sign, you're being given a sign, right? Okay, you need to stop doing what you do, because otherwise, it's going to get worse. And if you don't listen to it, it's going to get worse. And you continue, you persevere, and it's going to get even worse, right? Until basically you hit the wall or transformation or whatever. In my case, it was a transformation. So I guess, yeah, I don't know if it answers your question.
No, it does.
People
It does.
carry on the same road, the same way, until it's probably too late, or until they come to the age, as you mentioned, they become, older, more mature, wiser, and they realized, oh my God, this is what I wasted my life on. Let me try to do something different. But yeah, so.
Right, Erin. See, the difference, I understand the practicalities of life. It is easy to talk. But what I wanted to bring out through this question is that it is fine that rebel can come out at any stage of life, 60, 70, 80,
Yeah.
that is transformation. The problem is that a lot of people utilize these words to create a second career for themselves. Earlier, it is like that I have said yes to everything, and now because I've fizzled out of that particular position, now it's not giving me or milking any benefits to me, so let me take another side. And then you will try and say, okay, now I am this. That is not transformation, that is rebranding. That is what I wanted to say. That is the problem, which is actually going to create problems for others who are actually rebellious. Whether at any stage in life, it doesn't matter. It should not become a branding exercise, but it actually should reflect authenticity from real. The way marketing is done in today's time. People learn a lot of this marketing and come out towards, sometimes you talk about spirituality as a new sort of a branding, but real people, they continue to talk about it at whatever stage in life they are.
Oh, all right. So this is the direction you're taking. Yeah, I love your smile. It's not an easy question to answer. I would be talking about.
You are a transformation coach, and now do not have
No.
any entanglements that somebody can hold you. You are now the rebel can break free.
Well, you know what? As a transformation coach, I can empower and guide those who want be authentic. I can't make people want to be authentic, right? You either want it or you don't. So, it's not enforced on you. If you want to continue the path that you were on before, it's your choice. It's absolutely fine. But if you'd like to be who you truly are and discover all your power, because underneath all this BS, that we're covered with, we have absolutely amazing core. We're so powerful, you know, we're so confident. We just don't realize it. So if somebody wants to get to the core, then I'm here to guide, because I went through my transformation by myself. I didn't know even what was happening with me, right? It wasn't fun, far from it. So, but I can facilitate it, I can guide, I can support, I can encourage, because I know that in the end of the process, you're going to be absolutely free, and that is worth it. But if you don't want it, then there's nothing I can do. And I guess this where I started selling, we can talk about samsara. It depends on which stage you are, because so I don't know if you want to go this direction. I wouldn't. But again, so not everybody is prompt, I guess, to get to the next stage.
Right. So for those people, people who are caught up amongst such environments, but are actually, conscious business rebels, what is it that they can do to live the life as soon as they can and not wait for a long, long time? What is it that they can do? And how do you thrive in a business environment which is also filled with so many not conscious business rebel, but fully focused on profit? But you need to get along, because in terms of pricing, in terms of the market, in terms of the customers, everything is the same. How do you do that?
Again, too many questions. Try to remember. I guess it's easier probably to start with profit or with con. Okay, let's try. Basically, what I do and what I advocate for is that when you run your business from your core self, and this is the place where I am in right now. So again, I don't teach or preach anything that I haven't experienced or I don't live myself. So you're living in the place of complete peace, mental peace, your mental health, the topic that is very kind of well discussed at the moment. Um, so when you come from this place where you wish the best, you have different impacts on your business from your core. So it's going to impact the way the business is run. So it's going to be easier to make decisions, right? It's going to be easier to accept creativity and innovation, because you're not any longer threatened. Your authority isn't threatened, because you don't need this authority. You see, you are in comfort with yourself. You don't need validation. This is what, business leaders often, I think, suffer from. They need validation. They're afraid of losing their face. They need to reinforce what they say. They don't accept disagreement. There may be different reasons behind it. We're not going to go into all this, discussing everybody's psyche and growth mindset. It's not about that. But when you run your business from the place of peace and comfort, you have different relationship with your people. You have different relationship with decision making, right? You have different relationship with your customers and your partners, and all that actually contributes to your business. There's no threat. Everybody is talking about how to create a fantastic environment where employees thrive. That's how you do it. You make it comfortable, because if you have no employees, you have no business, right? It's not about tricks of offering, I don't know, gym membership or beer or whatever, because it doesn't contribute to the loyalty of your team. You create an ambiance where people want to work, and they want to work only when they feel appreciated and understood and taken care of. right? So this is what I mean, how it has an impact on the business. With regards to profitability, that's actually another interesting thing. And again, I believe that you will understand what I'm talking about. So what we do as society, we set goals. This is my profitability goals. And we just give everything that we have just to achieve it. We go, forward, obviously burnout, we have stress, we have health issues. If we don't achieve this goal, you have two options. Either you achieve it or you don't. If you don't achieve it, all right, so I'm a loser, right? I did something wrong. We start immediately evaluate ourselves. And again, our mental health, self-esteem gets damaged. Or if we achieve it, it's like, yay, I achieve it. Next one, next goal. Off you go, right? So that creates, it's like a perpetual cycle of striving or achieving. And it's not doing good to anybody. Besides, often business people actually confuse return of investment with profitability. Return of investment is immediate. It's a cash inflow, basically. Profitability is very long term. It's a long term exercise. It doesn't happen in 1 year. It doesn't happen overnight, but people get confused. So this is probably why they strive for profitability because they believe that it's kind of, something on the horizon. What happens with my profitability model or approach? You have the foundation for the company because there's none building that can survive or be stable without having a solid foundation. So the foundation comes first, and then on top of the foundation you have 6 pillars that you need to pay attention to achieve profitability. And the approach is slightly different mentally because I'm always about mental health and being effortless, living and leading comfortably. So instead of striving, you switch your mindset and you choose the philosophy of continuous improvement. You focus on every stream separately and you just try to make it better day after day after day. Yes, what you're going to get as a result. If all 6 pillars are taken care of, profitability will come. It's inevitable, right? By on the way, going there, your business is going to get improved holistically, right? Because this is what you're doing every day. You're kind of improving continuously, right? So holistically, your business is going to get better. And your mental health is going to get better because you don't strive, but you actually try to do your best, across all important areas. So it just, it's probably doesn't sound that revolutionary, but it definitely helps. So I don't know if I answered your questions. Very
You,
insightful.
you are actually answering. You have answered it, and these are difficult questions. It's just that the more important part is your expertise perspective into it. People go through a lot of dilemmas. Just because I am asking does not mean I also know the answer. I will also be looking at it, but you will get my perspective. Here you are the expert, you are the master for this particular show. So your perspective is where people can try and understand, and maybe some people get their answers through this perspective. No right or wrong here. That is where, and in that sense, it is very important, and you have answered it. One last thing I want to understand is that you say authenticity. Why authenticity isn't for faint-hearted? Now, conscious business rebels, in a way, are authentic people. They want to be the way they are, and they want to bring it out in their business. In the business environment nowadays, there is this whole talk of authenticity. So, is it all again about just creating some noise about authenticity? Can they really be authentic people in that sense? Because if they become authentic, they will all become conscious business rebels. So it's just noise and no actual thought process. And because you also talk about that authenticity is not for the faint-hearted. How can you become authentic at the same time you are just watching the bottom line and the stock ticker going up and down? How does that work?
This is exactly what we discussed earlier. You have to have courage. So why it's not for faint-hearted? Because when you realize that you don't want to blend in, you have to get through the first step. When you realize that the status quo doesn't work for you, and then you rebel. I say, okay, don't fit in, I'll go my own way, right? That's the first step. Without this realization, it's not possible. But imagine you did it and you realize that your thinking and your behavior is different from 90% of people around you. Some people are okay with it, some people aren't. So it really depends how much courage you have to stand by your own truth. This is why I'm saying it's not for faint-hearted. It's not that complicated, because at the end of the day, the good thing that you will find your own tribe. And that tribe feels amazing. When you become who you are and you're surrounded with people who accept you for that and who are similar, so you have no judgments, you have no expectations, you build totally different relationship. There's so much support, there's so much love in this community. So it's not like you're going to be lonely for the rest of your life, but taking this first step is challenging. And yes, you do need to have courage. So, and yes, when we talk about authenticity, it's fantastic that we talk about it, but there's my challenge in understanding it. And I don't know, I'm probably going to ask you a question because I'd like to understand your opinion. When I was a corporate leader, I had two corporate leadership styles in one. So it was transformation leadership I was trained on and authentic leadership that I chose for myself. The problem was that even when I was authentic, so I was living according to my values, my question is, were my values correct? Because as I said to you, I was conditioned on status, wealth, power, career progression, big company name. So obviously it had certain effect on my way of thinking. So the question is what we called authenticity is 100% authenticity? Or is it the best that we can get in the circumstances that we're in? So that would be my challenge back to you, because I'm too afraid, of going so high philosophically and challenge the such an established thinking that, if I had a PhD in philosophy, I probably would have kind of attempted. But at the moment, it feels like a suicide. But yes, yeah. But altogether, here's the question: what is authenticity, and how authentic is that authenticity in our perception?
Right. You're asking me?
Yeah, why not? For a change.
Authenticity is just like you do not have anything to hide. You are just being yourself. It's like, authenticity is applying only a bit of makeup and not a mask.
Right.
When you apply that mask, that is not authentic. But as long as you are using makeup, or in any way, I'm talking in a nice way,
No, it's all good. Yeah.
isn't it? That is perfectly all right. That is authenticity. If you go beyond that, and then the intention matters. Then the intention matters. Some people apply the mask of authenticity to gain something. Some people apply whatever little so that they can come out well enough to be able to present their ideas and thoughts and change whatever little that they can. That is authenticity in my sense. Never to claim that I'm here to change the world, but changing one thing, small thing at one place. Because they are not watching the stock market, they are not watching the coverage in media, they are not watching anything. The world may be watching, but they are only watching themselves. That's authenticity.
I love your answer. It's a wonderful answer. And the thing that you said, what totally, absolutely spot on. is the intention. And this is what I was saying, how authentic is authenticity? Because some people may say that, yes, I am who I am, that's, I will describe myself, but the intention, if I still want to achieve this, and that, I would really question it, because I believe that underneath all that, again, we are much better people, we are much more human, we are much more caring, and we strive on goodness, right? So that's for me the core authenticity. And sometimes it's kind of a little bit scary, I guess, to get to this place, because it's too raw.
Right. There is much to understand about these things, Erin, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to understand more from you, about the work you do, and also engage with you professionally as a transformation coach and business advisor. So, what is the best way for them to do so?
Oh, right. So where you can find me? You can find me on my website, erinandreacraske.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. There's probably going to be a link underneath this video. I would encourage you to check the strategy guide. If you don't go through transformation, but if you run a business and you would like to reach or move towards profitability, actually business strategy is one of the pillars. It's not about tactics, it's not about return of investments, it's about strategy. And there is a book to help you with a gift offer from the Great British Bookshop. That is actually, you can find it on Amazon India too. So you can connect with me personally, you can connect with me through my book, or on the website there are a few freebies. Feel free to use them, like different self-assessment surveys for self-reflection. There's nothing, like there's not a blueprint, but it's opportunity to look what areas of business or your leadership you would like to address, if it's gonna, help you. So there are different ways.
Wonderful, wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, exactly.